All right, you guys, welcome to another episode of the No Fun Zone podcast. I am joined by a guest today over Zoom. Bummer. We're going to get him in studio soon. Don't worry. It's going to be way better then. But he's a really good friend of mine and a really fantastic artist, and I encourage you all to check out his work. His name is Danny Starr, Starr with two R's. You can find him on Instagram at dstarrt, DSTARRT. And I really, honestly, I truly do encourage all of you guys to check him out. If you like his stuff, support him. He has a gallery of his own called Valhalla Galleries. I think that's VALHALL Gallery. I think that's sort of where he's selling his stuff. But if you can support this dude and keep him doing what he loves doing and what he's actually truly fucking talented at, absolutely do it. So yeah, other than that, sit back, kick back, and then enjoy the episode. I think it's going to be a good one. Thanks. So Danny, I know he's not going to be, he's going to be modest, and he's not going to say how great of a fucking artist he is, but when you look at the background of what you're seeing right now, you can tell he's a fucking phenomenal artist. It's your own gallery, right? Valhalla?
It works as my studio and my gallery, and we have three other artists along with me too.
That's fucking awesome. So everyone, whoever this reaches, obviously check him out if you like his art, which you fucking should because it's dope. Go check out Valhalla Gallery. Do you have a website, Instagram?
Got it all? Yeah.
Yeah. Just add Valhalla Gallery on Instagram and shit like that.
valhallagallery.com, dannystarr.com. We're on Google. Right. Google it if you get confused.
We're on Google. What's up, guys? We're on Google. Everyone is on Google.
Official. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I wanted to get that out of the way before we started talking. Just let everyone know who listens. It's good shit. Check it out. I have a few pieces from him, and it's dope. So I don't know. Okay. First of all, when I was listening to the intro music, it reminded me. I was just watching Charlie's Place, and I found our CD that we made in high school as Gimbal the Fool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When we actually made a CD, and it had our faces on the CD that Charlie printed out. Found the CD, listened to it. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's sloppy and we're all over the place, but the core sort of essential music that we made back in the day, pretty okay, man. I was stoked.
We played some decent music for some high schoolers. You definitely, I thought your writing was really impressive, like writing your music. I remember we had to do a high school project. I think it was my class, and I had to write a song, but I wanted to do it with the band, and you wrote the entire song, and I was just like, I'll just do a drum sample over whatever the fuck you write. And you did my homework, and the class was blown away. It was just well, I basically just did the drumming, but.
No, I mean, I remember doing that song. That was a really, really fun song. I don't remember how it goes necessarily, but I do remember it being just a very enjoyable. I don't know. That's what I did for fun anyway. So when you were you helped me with my song, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. This is what I'd be doing on my own anyway, by myself in my basement. So
right. What you're doing right now, I'm just gonna turn it in as my own homework. Appreciate it.
Oh man, I should have taken more art classes in high school and just had you fucking do my own homework for me.
I would have. I fucking would have. I would have taken 2 or 3 days, and every class I had that basically wasn't PE, I'd be doing your art homework. So I would table math, I would table science, I would table English, all that shit, and I would just draw all day.
That's basically what I did my last 2 years in high school. Is I took the necessary classes that you had to take, and every elective was some sort of music class. So I was like, if you guys are going to force me to be here, I'm going to take jazz band. I'm going to take concert band. I'm also going to take music theory. I'm going to take guitar 1 and guitar 2, even though I'm better than the instructor is, or the teacher, Mr. Wright. So yeah, I was like, if you guys are going to force me to be here, I'm going to at least do something that I enjoy doing and not just, I don't know, sitting in a fucking bullshit class. Like, I think I took pottery in like middle school. I was like, I guess this is fun, but
I never got on board with pottery. I think it's a beautiful art form, but no. Tell you the truth, I didn't even really take art classes. I mean, I definitely had a handful. I think you also have to take some. But I remember I was arrogant on a manner of things, but it was like, well, I'm just going to be drawing all day anyway, so why take an art class? You know.
Fair enough. But then also, okay, so this is one thing I wanted to sort of get down to is like your sort of the history and like the journey from you turning into the artist that you are today, because it has been really interesting to watch, because I've sort of watched you go through it. Like, you've always been the kid who was drawing and like coming up with stuff ever since I've known you, which has been like fucking over 20 years.
Yeah.
And like our first band art was always just like you drawing like an end from Lord of the Rings or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But then to watch you go from that to like starting in sort of high school to be like a little bit more seriously taking it. And then you went to college, and then all of a sudden, like, that was just your fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like my story of like how I fell into art.
Were you always naturally just gifted at being able to like sort of at first probably monkey see monkey do, copying stuff that you had already seen, and then that's something that I can do if I spend enough time, is just monkey see monkey do, just like spending hours getting every line perfect.
Yeah.
What confuses me is that transition from just like copying to being able to create yourself.
That's a good question. And that's a threshold I feel like I really only was able to reach relatively recently. I'm a lefty, and so I grew up drawing. Some of my first memories are me drawing. One of my earliest memories, it's a funny one. I was also an extremely shy baby. My parents said I wasn't really.
Is that your new rap name? Shy Baby?
Shy Baby. Coming at me. Shy Baby. Yeah, I feel like the streets would respect that name. But I really wasn't speaking vocally until I was like 3 or 4 years old. My parents probably thought I was probably a little bit on the spectrum, but one of my first memories was I was in Sioux City. That's where my mom's side is from, and she has 8 siblings, and they all have kids. So it's like getting the kids ready for church. We're all Irish Catholic, crazy Catholic family. It's like, you know, they just have to like get all the kids, throw them in the car, make sure they have on their little kid outfits and little suits and shit. And I think I was one of the first ones done. I must have been like 3, maybe 4 years old. And I found some pile of sticky notes and a pen. And so I'm like out near the front door laying stickers, drawing all the animals I can think of. I got my toucan, I got my fucking horse, I got, you know, my dog, I got my cheetah. And my aunt Molly runs up and like, cause they have all the kids and they're wondering where I was. And she goes, "Oh my God, I found him." And she like crinkles up all the sticky notes and like throws them like in the corner, like just ditches them and picks me up. And like my masterpieces that I had laid out in front of me were destroyed. And I just remember being like, "Oh, fuck, bitch, Molly." Like that was my first memory of my aunt. But, so I just
destroying what you loved.
Drawing. Always been drawing.
Yeah.
Didn't know when it became serious. It didn't really come serious till after college. Art and history were the only kind of college courses that I wasn't flunking out of. And the only reason why I was failing out of science and shit is because I just never went to the fucking classes. And so I was just like, all right, cool. I'll go study history and art. And now I'm here.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, obviously, both of us are very big Tolkien heads.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tolkien is a perfect mixture of those two subjects, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's
Well
history
said.
and art. I mean, even like the Silmarillion is technically fictional, but that's basically a history book, just about a fictional world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Um,
he derived so much of his, I mean, he created a world, a realm.
oh yeah,
A pantheon of gods and all that stuff. And so,
the
he was
Iluvatar.
super well rehearsed in, Nordic, Anglo-Saxon history, things like that, Greek history.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his creation is, backed by, his knowledge of, historical accounts and things like that. So,
Yeah, and that's one thing that I would sort of say about, which is part of, I guess, what makes your art sort of Tolkien-esque, is it is like history sort of represented.
mm-hmm.
You know, like, I mean, you're not painting. I mean, I'm trying to think of. I mean, I guess your piece that you did in Denver on the wall, that "Be a Good Person" piece,
Mm-hmm.
that's more of like a modern kind of standalone piece. But most of your stuff always has a very sort of historical kind of vibe
Yeah,
to it, I guess. Like,
I love the surreal art, and I think when you work in a surreal matter, you're diving into these places in your consciousness where I guess things like uh, what contemporize a culture kind of disappear. It kind of becomes more timeless or historical in a sense. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense at all.
wait, so
I feel like because I paint in a surreal manner, that kind of energy vibe style you're just describing, it can really shine in a surreal platform,
so what do you mean by like surreal per se?
So surrealism,
Like
fuck, I don't know the exact
realistic sort of depictions of sort of sub-realistic scenarios.
depictions of sub-realistic scenarios.
I mean, just
Oh,
like, I don't know, because like,
it's like a dream state. It's like a dream, like
okay, yeah,
the
that's
subconscious. So it
okay.
takes the realist and it strips it of its like objective meaning and brings it to an entirely new context,
Okay,
which kind of strips it away from its
yeah.
everyday identity and becomes a completely new one.
So on surface level, it can just seem as it is just realistic, but when you look at
Yeah,
like the subtext, that's when you get more to that sort of dreamy,
exactly right.
out there kind of state.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
interesting. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun way to work.
Yeah, I mean, because like you could have gone the way of being just an ultra realism kind of person. Like you have the skill. Like, I mean, just that picture that you have with the pot and the dagger and like the little sort of
Oh yeah, the little still life.
three-dimensional yeah, huh. Yeah. Like that is a very realistic sort of portrait of those objects sitting there.
Yeah.
Like I remember you doing that. And like so you have the skills to do that, but like having that sort of dreamscape underneath, I don't know, I guess adds layers and just makes it more
Both
like
literal and figurative. Yes. Yes.
it's so crazy to me because like you can say that music is a form of art, and that's like honestly what I think is probably going to be the closest thing that I ever really get to an art form. Like my brain just doesn't really work that way. Like I can, like I said before, like I can do monkey see monkey do and I can copy something or try my best at it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like I've never been able to sit at a piece of paper and just go like, all right, I've got an idea, and just start drawing. Like I can, it just doesn't work with my brain. Whereas like with music, I feel like for some reason ideas just come out. Like I don't think about them before I do them. I'm more just kind of, I let my fingers kind of go, and I sort of take my conscious brain out of it and let sort of my unconscious or subconscious kind of create what the new thing is going to
Yeah,
be. Do you find
that's
like that's the same thing with how you do it? Like, do you have to like pull your conscious brain out and just kind of let your hand do what it wants for a little while and then you find the thing? Or do you come at it with more of like a conceptualization that's like something that you've thought about beforehand and go like, okay, this is what the sort of metaphor or the meaning behind it's going to be, and I'm going to use this to depict it.
I feel like there's a handful of questions in there.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of layers in that question.
But no, it's fascinating. I feel like what you were describing about playing that guitar is like when your art form becomes like a meditation, right? Where you almost
Flow
like
state.
exactly right. So it's
Yeah.
like, at what point does your art form become a meditation? And uh, I would say a lot of the time, you know, anytime I can sync more than like 2 hours in, like I can normally start to notice around like the second hour, painting becomes, it shifts. Like you can tell it kind of shifts in my mind of, sometimes it takes me an hour to warm up. Okay, you gotta get the paints out, you gotta get set up, you gotta get ready. Okay, what part of the painting was I working on? Okay, what was I trying to achieve? And it's
That's
like
another thing. Yeah.
you stand there and you attack it. You just have to start very practically, right? And then once you start dabbling on the canvas, and you got to find the right tones, the right thickness, which way, you have to dive into the painting. And I guess I don't want, this is a little cheesy, but like you have to ask what the painting is telling you. Like find the painting, you know what I mean?
Well, and
and
also find your mindset that you last left the painting at.
oh, absolutely,
Because
yeah,
like that's the thing. Music is, I feel like, a little bit more immediate, and then you can come back and sort
yeah.
of work on things, and it's a little more abstract. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
a painting might take you, like a really complicated, like big piece might take you what, a month and a half to work on.
Yeah, yeah,
And so you have to keep coming back and sort of coming back to that same mindset. Whereas music, you can sort of be a little bit more free. And
yeah,
sometimes coming back to the piece of music that you're writing with a totally different mindset gives you like this brand new spark of an idea.
yeah, yeah.
Where I feel like with paint, you're a little bit more committed to what you've already put on there and you have to keep going with it. That's interesting.
Yeah, I really respect people's art forms. I guess this is just like in a microcosm because now that we can record everything, it's very music becomes more permanent. But if you're playing live music, so like music at its core, like you're playing a guitar, and you got a circle, you're playing guitar. Like once that song is over, it's like your piece of art, like is done, right? But then people remember it. Obviously, you're going to go play it more times. You're going to spend years with perfecting some of your songs, right? So they do like grow like with you as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
But I've always really enjoyed the kind of fleeting that fleeting like detachment that musicians have. Like once they have, it's a completely different gratification than with artists. Sorry, painters. Musicians are also artists.
Like a
Where
visual artist.
yeah, right. Where it's like our finished piece. I mean, we may never see. We may let go of it. Hopefully, we're fucking selling them. But their whole purpose is their longevity, like their existence
Sure.
in kind of aspect. And I've tried to adopt. Tried to adopt a certain degree of like non-attachment to my work, just because if you have too much of that shit, it can fucking drive you crazy. And so I've been working in like different fucking manners where I get to use like the different sides of my brain. And so I've been like playing with like how like abstract expressionism, you have to like mentally detach yourself from monkey see, monkey do. Okay, that's like a skirt, but that this girl has on of this figure I'm painting. But how can I allude to a skirt when I'm like, what are its colors and emotions and like movement behind it, and then you get to just detach everything about a fucking skirt, and then you paint abstractly, right? And then the human brain gets to come in and connect the dots with where it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been really enjoying the connection of fusing my kind of more realist and abstract together.
Yeah,
because I feel like they connect to the different sides of my creativity, the more constructed, rational thinking brain, and the more abstract, loose, emotional, free expression.
totally. No, and I think that's like a general kind of healthy mindset to go through life in. And that's kind of the idea of finding balance. Like sometimes you're going to still want to do a ultra realistic painting, but then other times let yourself be free to be able to like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to make this most abstract fucking like what's his fucking name, Jackson Pollock. I'm just going to go Jackson Pollock today. Fuck it, I don't care, I'm just going to throw paint at a canvas.
Yeah.
And I think that's healthy with like most people's stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, again, like the only thing I can really relate it to is like music. But like, yeah, sometimes you just want to play with friends and not have any structure whatsoever. So this is something I learned in high school. In jazz band, we used to do free jazz Fridays. Every Friday at jazz band was free jazz, which literally means no rules. And at one point, because there are no rules, I picked up a conga and flipped it over and started screaming into the hole of the conga because it's free jazz and nothing fucking matters.
Yeah.
And then that sort of like allows you to learn to sort of improvise. And for in your case, you might find something that you do when you're just painting abstractly and you're like just in the moment and not thinking about what you're doing. You might find something that's like, oh shit, that's actually really cool. And I can use that in, a more sort of planned out conceptual project that I'm working on.
Yeah, right.
Improvisation is where you find like the little things that you never thought to think of.
Approach your craft in a completely new light. Absolutely. It's funny too, how it's so silly, like seems so fucking silly and stupid, like in the moment. I guess I'll fucking do this. And then like, you keep working it out and you're like, holy crap, like I can totally like reapproach this in a completely new way.
Yeah. It can give you like, I mean, it's the same thing as just kind of taking a whole heaping bunch of mushrooms every once in a while. Just put your brain into just
not quite the same.
Well, but I mean, same kind of concept where you just go like, all right, I'm just gonna like let go of the ego for a little while and just let the thing just do what it wants and just see what happens. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit, but either way,
if it's shit, then more mushrooms will grow out of the shit. So it's a win-win situation.
Ooh, very true. Yeah, win-win. Very good.
Speaking of a bit of a topic switch, I'm getting really excited to eat some more mushrooms again.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
How long has it been?
I had some in October last year, so I guess it'll be about a year since I've last taken them.
All right.
And I don't think I dome like 3 grams, but maybe like eat an eighth throughout the day, kind of wacky.
Yeah. So, sort of speaking of that, Mike's bachelor party's this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's in Vegas, and like a lot of those dudes are gonna be very bros. I mean, Scott's the best man, so he's getting us, which is awesome. Like, it's such a cool thing. Like, it's a very generous thing, but he's getting us party passes to get us into like the day clubs and the nightclubs. We have to like dress up and like look all nice. And cool. Like they won't let you in if you're wearing sneakers or a hat or something like that.
Yeah, it's very official.
So I've got, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 grams of mushrooms.
Yes.
And I'm
dude.
just going to grind them up and put them into capsules and put them in like a vitamin jar and
Yeah,
take them out
yeah.
there. And I'm just going to be eating mushrooms the whole
Oh my
time.
God,
in
that
Vegas.
I fucking love you, man. That's the best way to handle that situation. Just let go of all sense of judgment. Just like,
Exactly. Because like,
focus on him through the night, embrace the fucked up shit that's gonna be in front of your face.
because I know myself and I know that I'm just going to get annoyed with so many fucking things about Vegas in general.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm just like, all right, I'm going to eat just like all the mushrooms and I'm just going to be floating on a cloud for 2 days straight. And it's going to be awesome. Oh, holy shit, dude. Charlie's calling me.
Yes.
I'm going to plug him into the podcast.
Yes. I'm gonna grab a beer.
Go for it. Oh!
Hey.
Charlie's
Yes.
in the Zoom.
Hey,
Oh, look at that fierce beard, lad. Loving
Yes,
it.
I just
Yes,
trimmed
kid.
it too.
Of course,
It
of
was like-
course. No way, that long?
Yeah, it was getting pretty bad.
It wasn't
like,
that long, dude.
it was pretty excessive.
It was just bushy. You just got it trimmed up on the sides, I feel like. I feel like you still have a good amount of the length left in the old chin region. Yeah, no? All right.
Yeah, yep. Sorry, I'm still working. You got me multitasking here.
Charlie, just quick on the multitasking. Do. You got 40 screens though, bro.
Yep,
Hey, this should be easy
makes
for
it
you.
easy. Right now, I'm just on the laptop in front of the TV.
You still up
Alright.
in your Longmont house?
Yep.
No voice.
Most of my art around here is Danny art.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
all of it. I took a look
Yeah.
around when I was watching your place, and literally, like, there's 2 pieces of art that are on the walls that are not Danny originals.
Nice. I am honored. I remember you came to my show a number of years ago and just like at the last day, you were like, I'll buy this one. I like this one and this one. It
Yep. They're pretty awesome.
was a good day.
I still get a lot of comments of the Viking one too. I have that one framed up, and people are like, "That one looks like you."
I'm trying to think of the Viking one that you
The,
I
had.
remember
the
it.
tongue out.
Oh yeah, do you printed that?
Yeah, I got it. I got it printed and framed.
Yes, dude. I love that piece. You need that piece for sure.
Yeah, it's
Glad
perfect.
you have it. Nice.
I remember thinking that when I looked at it again. Like, I came out of the bathroom and I saw it up on your like mantle or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it kind of looks like Charlie. A little bit.
Well, I
puffy in the
never thought of
cheeks.
that until someone else mentioned it, and then Danny, you said it actually was based on an old Facebook picture or something where I was making that face.
Yeah, I used your reference. You were sticking your tongue out. I was like, this will do.
That'll do, Piggly. That'll do.
That's cool, man. Oh man, I haven't done any work like that in years.
Was that one digital?
That was watercolor and like ink. Yeah. And I think Charlie, I think you have like one of my favorite pieces. I think it's called the Atman, and it has like it just has like a guy and a girl kind of standing like this, like with their hands up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
go.
That one is that was a really fun one to make.
I still have plans to get that Gandalf with the jellyfish one tattooed on me.
Do I have that OG one still?
I have the
Hey,
OG.
here's the gym.
Oh, your tattoo. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, home gym, dude.
I
Living
want to
life
call it
large,
Danny
son.
and Brian.
Oh, hey.
So over here,
that
Danny,
kind of shit.
I got the
Dumbass.
old high school ones.
Oh yeah, baby. Damn.
This one's kind of creepy.
Yes.
He used to have that one. That's where that
Yeah, that
one
was
used
over
to
here.
be. And
Yeah.
that's what he would walk out every morning from his bedroom to go to the bathroom to. I'm just like, maybe change that up. Don't have this crazy demon lady looking at you in the face every day.
And then you remember this guy over here too.
Oh man, you got some fucking classics, Charlie. Love it.
And this is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah, that one. I love that one. Yeah, that was a fun one.
And then I also got this one.
Ooh, that's right. Yes.
And then the other like Viking one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dang man.
And then one of my own pieces, I took this picture of the dogs.
Oh, I love it. Wait, you have 3 dogs now?
Oh, one of the ones sitting on the armrest is Leo's. When
Cool.
Leo was living with me.
Nice.
So my guys are just like snuggling in the corner, and Griffin's just staring out the window waiting for bunnies.
Dude, your house is beautiful. I've never seen it before.
I thought you came here once before.
Oh, maybe I don't remember.
Oh man, I don't remember shit. So.
Danny, I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, my dad's living in Atlanta.
What, no, Jim's living in Atlanta?
An hour north of Atlanta, so he's close to you.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. It's about 4 or 5 hours. Atlanta's about 6 hours away from me. So he's probably about 4 or 5 hours away.
Yeah, he wants to kick it with you at some point.
What's he doing out there?
He moved out there before the pandemic. That's where his girlfriend Terry lives.
Oh, so he's like me, chasing this gal.
He's following her over there. But recently he drove all the way from there to here with a bunch of music stuff, hung out here for like a week, and then drove to California for my cousin's wedding where we just got back from.
Nice.
And he's driving all the way back. So he's literally going like total cross country drive.
Nice. That's awesome. Living free, baby. That's awesome.
Yeah, boy.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Glad it worked. I have never answered a Zoom call on my phone before. I do a lot of Zoom meetings, but they're all like pre-scheduled where I just click on a link. Like I've never answered a ringing call for Zoom on my phone like that.
Oh, did it actually ring?
Yeah, and so it was like
I
a
just
new
went off
ringtone.
your contact. That should have just been your email. I thought.
Yeah, well, I think it's the old because I keep all my apps like shut off when I'm not using them, so this is the only one that Zoom is technically running all the time.
Interesting. This could set up some fun
anyway,
shit.
I gotta hop off and wrap up some work stuff.
All right, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yeah.
When are you coming back out here for your ceremony? Is that
I'll be
October?
back in town September 1st. Are you in town the 3rd through the 6th? In that time, Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, I don't have much other plans other than Vegas this weekend.
Cool. We got bachelor party. We're just gonna go up in the mountains.
Shit.
You should have been contacted about that, Charles.
I'm kind of clueless. Sorry.
No sorries needed. I'll bug you about it. So if you can come, you can. I mean, because it'd be great. No pressure, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be there.
Cool.
Yeah, hit me up. Let me know.
Will do, man. Yeah.
Right on. Well, enjoy the rest of the show.
Love you, buddy.
All right, bye, Charlie. Love you, brother.
Love you guys.
Love you.
All right, peace. Oh man.
This is a normal conversation with Charles.
What's that?
His dad was there. He had his face on.
His dad face on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad face to be putting on, especially when your dad's there. It's kind of needed.
No, that's just Charlie's older than he actually is. I've decided. He lives the life of like a 60, 70-year-old man.
Yeah, but he's also physically older than he actually is.
Yeah, no, that too. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but also totally chill.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, not hating on the dude in any way, shape, or form, but he for sure is he's just in like I'm 70, fuck it.
Yep. I'm 70, fuck it.
I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
What you guys talking about? All right, whatever. That's all him.
Yeah, I remember when we were like graduating college. So what, we were like 22 or whatever. And I remember him coming to me and being like, "Yeah, I went to the doctor and he told me, he's like, son, you got to change the way you live or you're gonna die soon. Like your heart can't handle what you're doing and you might die." And so he had to like make such a like drastic shift in like his diet, his drinking, and like smoking habits. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, for sure. He didn't do anything, but like, yeah, it was just mac and cheese for like every meal, 30 cigarettes a day,
Sounds like he
chilling on
did
the
a lot.
couch. Yeah, oh no, I mean for sure, but like no, but what I mean is like he didn't like do anything. Everything was localized to
Yeah,
the
exactly.
couch.
Yeah.
So
He
it'd just
wasn't
be
burning off those calories
no,
or like gaining lung capacity for the cigarettes.
no.
Yeah.
Or just like Charlie's always been, I guess, ever since college, I guess, like freshman and sophomore year, he used to like come out and like do stuff and like be more active and like want to run around. But once him and I stopped living together and he lived with Josh, he just got so into like computers and just gaming more so than he was before, and wouldn't
Which is
come do
already a
anything.
lot. Yeah. Yeah,
He's
I remember that.
like, we used to be able to get him to go and do stuff, and nowadays, and even for the last like for a long time, it's been hard to get Charlie motivated to do some shit. Like, I keep telling him the hardest part about doing anything is starting doing the thing. That's it. Once you start doing the thing, then it's fine. But the hardest part is getting the motivation to be like, all right, no, I need to pack my shit up in this car and actually go drive to this place and do this thing. That's the hardest thing. Once you're there, it's just like, okay, your mind goes, I'm here and this is what I'm going to be doing. Like for you, when you go to the studio, it's like, oh, I'm here. I'm going to be here for the next 3.5 hours working on this one piece of art.
Yeah.
And your brain just goes, all right, this is what I'm doing right now. That's it.
Acceptance.
Yeah, exactly. Not resisting.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
going like, this is something that I need to do.
Yeah. I mean, some people are wired differently. Charlie's also really good at getting hurt. So I feel like by the time he was 25, how many times has he dislocated his shoulder? Like a couple dozen?
I don't think a couple dozen. I think seriously, probably like 5 or 6.
Oh, he's fine then. How many concussions has he had?
That's probably more like a couple dozen.
Oh,
No. That's probably more like, I don't know. I bet he's probably had like 12 to 15 maybe.
yeah, that's a lot of concussions. I'm sure they say like what, after your like third or fourth concussion, they basically just start happening like more and more frequently.
Yeah. I mean,
I gave him one with a milk jug, an empty milk, and a fist. And a fist. I almost forgot to mention the fist.
Yeah. I mean, him and I have definitely fought a bunch of fucking times. Charlie, yeah, he's just like one of those guys. And maybe this explains part of his personality. He's kind of just one of those guys that shit just kind of happens to.
Yeah.
He's just like one of those guys. I think it might be partially derived from his personality of him being just like a golden retriever, of just like walking up to everybody and just being like, hey, you want to be my friend?
Yeah.
And then it ends up just like he says yes to life, but life fairly often ends up saying no to him back.
He's just naive, so he doesn't know what he's getting into until it's too fucking late. And so it's like life just serves him a fucking cold ass dish of "I told you so," like.
Yep. Which is hilarious.
It's funny, man. That shit has happened to me too. That shit stings. Stings after a while. You're like, God damn it, like fuck. But I mean,
yeah.
How about getting Charlie back into the saddle, so to speak? Getting outside. I mean, fuck. Right now, what? He has everything he needs. He's got a girlfriend, a well-paid job, and all his video games and stuff. How can you get him out of that? It sounds like he's in a happy place. Maybe if well, yeah. I don't know. He looks good, man. He looks
Oh wait,
good,
hold on.
Oh, you're frozen as fuck.
Yeah, no, my camera's eating a bag of dicks. Oh, we going?
Cool.
Hello.
Nice. Hello again.
Hey. All right, fucking goddamn it, dude.
Fucking A.
I hate technology.
Yeah, it's useful though.
It is,
But
but it's such a pain in the dick.
It is a pain in the dick.
Ay.
I don't know where we were. We were having a pretty good chat. I guess we can just kind of sink right back into whatever flows.
Yeah.
But, technology, like I wish I was more mechanical like you, like how you have a mechanical brain and you want like you with your music and cars, like. You know, you seem very and honestly working on ski mountains since you were in fucking high school. Like that stuff looks like it comes second nature to you. You know, it's pretty cool. I'm just now starting to get it. Like I'm starting to. Well, I'm not even really getting it, but I'm using fucking tools for the first time in my fucking life.
I'm using tools for the first time. What kind of tools are we talking, dude?
Oh yeah.
Power tools?
Adobe Suites, Microsoft Pro tools. No, just
Hold on a second, I'm gonna close the door.
tools though. Yeah, just like carpentry and shit like that. Just like taking care of a house. You know, I helped build my back porch. I've been building a bunch of benches and stuff in the backyard and super basic shit. But that's not mechanic at all, so it doesn't fucking matter.
I mean, but it's the foundation of just understanding how two pieces of material can work together to create a larger thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm still like the adult Lincoln Logs right now. Basically,
I mean, Lincoln Logs are the fucking shit. I used to love those when I was a kid.
Very
By
enjoyable.
far my favorite toy.
Very enjoyable. Yeah.
I would build the most elaborate structures. Fucking giant compounds that would make the hotel at Timberline that they filmed The Shining at.
Oh, no way.
Look like a fucking piece of shit.
Oh.
I built so much shit with that stuff. And like Legos and then erector sets.
Rector?
Something like that. Rector.
Never heard of those before.
Plastic like little doohickeys that you could like, I mean, kind of a similar idea to Legos. Yeah, I was always drawn to that stuff as a kid.
Nice.
I don't know, it's fun. It seems to make sense. It's like the same thing with like medical shit. Like everything's connected. And just understanding the connections between the things makes you understand how the whole thing works.
Yeah, my body is basically built the way Lincoln Logs are built.
Just narrowly fucking just held together by a slight weight and small grooves.
And like your arms are just like this, and like you can't, or like you know, like this, and like you can't fucking like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's cool. I don't know. I just think fuck. I don't know, man.
All right, fucking very
I
salient point.
I feel like I'm trying to force conversation, and I need to like.
No, just let it flow. We're chill.
Yeah,
it's always a weird thing. I'm assuming this is the first like quote unquote podcast that you've done.
Yeah.
It's weird as fuck when you first start doing it. I think I told you on the phone like a while ago after I like tried to record by myself and just like trying to fill an hour straight of just you talking to literally nothing is
Yeah.
the hardest thing that I've ever tried to do. Also, it's like I felt very weird promoting the podcast because it feels like such a weird thing to be like, oh, I have all these things to say. Everyone listen to what I have to say. It feels like it goes against my sort of like, I'm a meek, kind of humble person. And I don't think, like, I don't post on social media like at all.
Yeah.
I'm very just like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
So podcasting, like transitioning into like trying to do a podcast, which I think I'm somewhat good at. But either way, like it feels weird, like putting yourself out there, being like, I'm sure you probably felt the same way when you first started, like trying to promote your art, and, like put yourself out there
I feel
artistically.
every fucking day. I still fucking feel that shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm very similar to you in that manner.
Yeah, I don't like, I mean, so even like coming from working in the ski industry, I'd be talking with customers and like doing boot fits and all that stuff. And they're like, oh man, how long have you been skiing for? And I'd be like, I mean, you know, my parents were on ski patrol my whole life. They started me at 19 months old. And then people would say like, oh, you must be an amazing skier. And I would always go like, yeah, I'm pretty good.
I do all right for myself.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I've been doing it for my entire life basically. So like, I'm pretty good. But like, I've never been the kind of person to be like, yeah, no, fucking big dick swinging. I'm out there fucking shredding, bro. I mean, I've learned to do that as a joke and like fuck around with friends and be like, yo, I'm the fucking best skier on the mountain. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm
But
fucking so much better than you.
that's a completely different context. That's just like poking at your friends and shit.
Well, and it's honestly like psychologically, it's a displacement tactic of like, I'm going to turn it into a joke so that nobody else turns it into a joke before I can turn it into a joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because like,
yeah.
I mean, if I'm genuinely honest with myself, like, yeah, I'm a fucking really good skier, but I'm not the type of person to like go around like being like, yo, what's up? I'm fucking pretty good, dude. You know what I mean? Same thing with
then,
it just
it's a fine line of like you know, this big ego hubris based kind of boasting and just
being
giving honest opinion, or like, you know, it's like, and like when it's just passersby, oh, you must be so good. It's like, I'm all right. Like, you know, it's not like, you know, you need to fucking tell a fucking stranger like, I'm the fucking shit, you know. But it's like, for me with the art, I've been learning, and it's, you know, still getting better at it. It's like, if you start to understand the moments and the people who are like, okay, no, like talk about your art, talk about yourself, and like, you know, like just kind of remove yourself from your ego and just speak objectively as possible, right? Which is, you know, you can't just like remove yourself of your ego really ever completely, especially like in a moment, you know, with somebody. But
unless you take a big bag of mushrooms.
Unless you take a big bag of mushrooms, then you got a lot of other things you got to focus on first.
Like the goblins coming out of the toilet.
Whoa, shit, yeah, you got. That sounds like you gotta stay on top of that for sure.
Hold the lid down. Hold the big lid down. Just stay on
That's
top of that.
I'm really good at what I do.
The fucking goblins. All your friends are like, "What, dude?" No, but yeah, for sure, get that. Like, learning how to be, I don't know, sort of gracious in accepting compliments.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, and also I think, you know, from what I've seen to just going to your art shows, you know, when you still lived in Colorado, is people like it's the same thing that like if a good band gets off stage, everyone wants to go up to them and say like, hey, that was a sick show. And so if somebody comes to see, and like when the band member is like really cool, I'm like, hey, fucking thanks, man. Like, I'm glad you came out. That was fucking awesome. Like, I'm really stoked that you're fucking here. People get the same sort of feeling when they get to talk to the artist at the art show. And I noticed that like with you at the art shows that I've seen you at is like when somebody comes up and they're just like, wow, I really love your stuff. That sort of the engagement of that starting that conversation between you and that person, that makes that person feel really stoked. They connect more with the art because they're like, oh yeah, no, that's an actual real dude that I talked to, as opposed to just like, yeah, I don't know, just like, oh, that's a person that I saw on TV or something like that, I guess.
Yeah. And like with art, it's like, anybody can buy really good art online, like, from a range of whether your budget's $10 to 10 fucking grand. Like there's a fucking world out there that you can easily access and get some dope art. But when you can have like a human connection with like an artist, or like, a patron or a future buyer, it's like, and you hear the reasons like why maybe a certain piece of art moved them, what they saw in it, like,
Yeah.
I think it's just really rewarding for both people involved, and they're really fun, unique moments, and it helps just kind of like the side of yourself kind of like shine, the good parts of yourself that you enjoy, and that human connection is
well, I feel like what it is it will always bring you joy to do something that you love to do, and then when you realize that that also brings somebody else a sense of happiness, or like it makes them feel a certain way, just that alone is just rewarding in its own. It's
absolutely
like, I mean, so you're
nice
doing
human.
what you love to do anyway, but then it also brings somebody else some sort of happiness and some sort of pleasure, and that just kind of confounds them, that thing. It's like the same thing as like helping somebody out on the street, like,
Totally.
helping an older lady carry her groceries up. You feel good, the other person feels good, and that makes it compounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's doubly as good as it would have been.
Yeah, man. Totally agree.
Art's a weird thing for me to wrap my head around. At least the art that you kind of do.
Yeah.
It just I get it as an observer, but from sort of what you do, it just makes no sense to me. Like how you even start any of these projects that you have just hanging in the background even.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one thing I wanted to sort of talk about is like where does the inspiration for something like that come from? Like,
yeah, that's a fucking great question. I was mulling that one over because I was like, this is the fucking question he's going to ask you. And you have to try to think, you have to find an articulation because, that's a hard fucking question. I even like when I ask myself, it's like, maybe I get a little Charlie about it and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just made it. I don't want to fucking think about it. But
I mean,
like,
that's a perfectly acceptable answer as well. If you just say I don't know where it comes from and it just is there, that's something that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like I get that.
Fair. I mean, it's and it's not wrong. A lot of my pieces start with you just have a fucking cool image in your head and you're like, oh, I bet I could make that. Like, oh, I think that'd be fucking cool. I'm gonna make it because I can. Just the act of making something is probably one of the most fucking like raw fucking feelings or expressions you can have in art. It's just like a fucking cave painting, right? Like motherfuckers, I guess those are probably educational as well. But like, it's just like pure expression, right? And
Making it for the sake of making it, as opposed to making it for like a grander purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get that.
Having said that though, I really each piece of my art is different, and obviously commissions, that's a completely different thing to cater to. But
sure, because somebody's coming to you, it's like if you're a tattoo artist and somebody comes, I have this idea, turn this into something that you can put on my body.
Yeah. And then because you're experienced, you know how to translate it into a way that they would enjoy.
Yeah, like my mom made that commission for Spirituals Project Choir.
Yeah.
Wade in the Water.
Yeah.
And you killed it.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I think it's because like you with music, with us with skiing, with me with art, it's
Hey, bro, I'm a snowboarder now. Fucking chill.
we're snowboarders, bro. We could say that. I just saying skiing would be nice, but we're urchins all the way, dude.
Dude, knuckle draggers all day, brother. Knuckle dragging.
Because we started that shit so young, like it's such a deep form of expression for how we identify and how we translate our fucking story, our narrative, our experiences back out into the world. And so I've noticed that with like my body of work, and sometimes I don't even really notice it in my painting till, a year or two after the fact that I've had time to reflect on like who I was and what I was going through at that time. But it's really, I do have narratives that tell stories about, certain historical notions or, philosophical ideas. But it's interesting to see how in my art, how like, the Danny Starr, like how I depict and translate those, thoughts and emotions that I was picking up or learning, and channeling through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of inspiration just comes from a fact that that's like how I've figured out how to omit, my experience back out into the world.
Yeah. Well, and like I sort of said at the beginning of the podcast, is it's been very, very interesting to sort of watch you grow as an artist. And like obviously seeing your skills develop, and especially when you went to Florence and you studied realism in Florence for what, a year and a half? A year?
I was there for a year, yeah.
A year, okay. So that was a huge jump when you did that, because like your technical skills improved like just immensely.
Yeah.
But also just kind of like watching your art sort of transform over the years has been sort of almost like a microcosm of just like watching you grow into the person that you are today.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys, that's it for now. That's it for part 1. Don't worry, next week we're going to be dropping part 2. Danny and I talked for way too long, but I think it was a genuinely interesting conversation that we had. So be on the lookout for the next one. Obviously, follow Danny, D-Start, D-S-T-A-R-R-T on Instagram, Valhalla Galleries. He's got a website if you want to purchase some of his stuff. Danny Starr, again, Star with 2 R's, so DannyStarRart.com. And then obviously follow us on all of our social media. No Fun Zone Pod, basically across the board on pretty much everything. And don't forget to do the old like and subscribe thing. So I just wanted to thank you guys for listening and for watching. This is the first time I actually get to say thank you for watching, because this is the first real video that we've put out. So yeah, just stay tuned. We'll keep this stuff coming for you. All right, guys, take care.